Hey guys, welcome. 30 books in 30 weeks. It's that time. And this is week 25. So, welcome in. We are going to talk about something exciting. And I was so interested in me. Like, I can't really wait to share this aha with with you guys, to share it with me. I already shared it with myself. But anyway, so 30 books in 30 weeks. Tonight is week 25, day 181 of this journey together. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the Ultimate Power Team. My name is Marcy Batiste. I am your Ultimate Power Coach and America's #1 reality-based success and recovery trainer. I'm glad you're here. I think that there's a lot of things that I want to share, but tonight we're working on week 25. For those of you who know me, I'm sold out to my happiness. I live life on Mars, and the thing that I love the most is to be the spark that ignites the light to help someone else discover and embrace their star power. And when I read this message today from my mentor, my good friend, Dr. Will Moreland, I was like, yeah, that's it. That's that separator. So yesterday we talked about the 5 steps to discovering. Hey Gio, hey Shasta, to discovering your genius, right? And how you go from you got to be willing to be bad enough, long enough to get good enough to be great, to discover your genius, right? And so I was reading today and I came across this this section in the book. Hey T, what's going on, Alfred? I came across this section in the book where Doc talks about for 30 books in 30 weeks. I'm serious. This is how excited I am, you guys. I can barely talk. So Genius Potential is our book for week 25. It is by Dr. Will Moreland, who is my business coach, a dear friend of mine, and truly has the most outstanding work ethic of any individual I've ever mentored, under, or worked with. And so it's interesting because I'm reading this book now for the second time. The first time I read it, I had just started working with him, so it's interesting to go back and look at how this stuff has all manifested in my life and how he really walks the talk, like he walks it out. Anyway, so I'm reading in the book today, and I come across one of his. He's talking about really developing your genius. So you kind of have a feel for what it is that your purpose is. You have an idea what your genius is. You're starting to walk in that vein. You're starting to walk in that light. But he says, master your craft. Master your craft. Josiah, what's up, baby? He says, master your craft. And when I read that, I was like, that's the piece that so many of us fail to do when we have a gift or a talent that comes naturally to us, is we forget that because it's easy for us, because like I said yesterday, your genius shouldn't be difficult. It shouldn't necessarily be a struggle for you. But because it comes easy to us, we don't always master our craft. And so when I read that, it made me think of a quote that I had once read from Dr. Martin Luther King. And I went back and I actually found the quote in a quote book that I've had this quote book now for probably 20 years. But anyway, so the quote from Dr. King says, okay, so so Dr. Will says, master your craft, right? And so then I go back and I'm like, this just sounds so familiar to something that I read from Dr. King. So I went back to the book and I found it. And this is what Dr. Martin Luther King said. He said, if a man is called to be a street sweeper, he should sweep streets as Michelangelo painted, or as Beethoven composed music, or as Shakespeare wrote poetry. He should sweep streets so well that all the hosts of heaven and earth will pause to say, here lived a great street sweeper who did his job well. And to me, that's always been one of my very favorite quotes by Dr. King, and it's in a quality service teamwork excellence book that I've had for many years. That quote's been saved for I can't tell you how long, and let me just read it to you again, because it really goes to our message today of master your craft. If a man is called to be a street sweeper, he should sweep streets. I can't talk. He should sweep streets as Michelangelo painted, as Beethoven composed music, or as Shakespeare wrote poetry. He should sweep streets so well that all the hosts of heaven and earth will pause to say, here lived a great street sweeper who did his job well. That's what happens when you master your craft. And so when I was thinking about, obviously Dr. Will wrote this book, and so I was thinking about him and the whole master your craft piece, and I was thinking about myself with my coaching, and really truly the things that you love the most, it shouldn't feel like a whole lot of work to master your craft, but some of us forget to exercise and walk in that space. And so I was thinking of Doc. I follow him on social media, and he's always sharing nuggets and takeaways about being a speaker. So that's his craft, right? Mine is coaching and mine is my writing. But everything that he does on his day-to-day basis feeds into and nourishes that craft. And so the whole master your craft piece, again, is just one of those things that we tend to overlook. And so when we look at these people who are hugely successful in different arenas, and they truly are exemplifying excellence, and they are walking in their genius, and they're walking in their purpose, we forget that they're working hard at that. Like every single day they work at that. I think of, I'm a sports nut, so I think of Peyton Manning, right, before he retired. Peyton was a student of the game. He wasn't just a quarterback. So it was all about the plays. It was all about the intricacies. It's the hours and hours and hours of watching film. It's throwing the ball, hundreds and thousands of times just to try and get the right spin on the ball, or make sure when you catch it, your fingers line up on the threads just right. I think about Kobe Bryant. I think about being in the gym early, being in the gym late. I think about that with LeBron James. I think about that. I was watching an interview the other day with Tom Brady. Tom Brady was like they didn't even want to hire him. He was 199th draft pick in 2000. But he mastered his craft, and that's what we see now. We see the result of all those hours of hard work, all that labor, all of the effort and the energy and the love and the passion that these athletes and these people who walk in their genius have poured into it. When I look at Doc and his speaking stuff, and the doors that he's able to get into, and the companies and the traveling in different countries and educating leaders, like, that's mastering your craft. So when you think about all of the times, how many times have you said to yourself, oh gosh, like I don't want to work on this today? How are you going to get to your genius if you're not willing to master your craft? And so you really have to shift your thinking and shift that light bulb and say, do I want to be the best street sweeper, as Dr. King said? Do I want the heavens and earth to open up and say, here lies a great coach who did her job well, who served people, who added value, that's what I want. That's what I want my legacy to be. I have a personal mission statement that talks about to lead with my heart and to love with my head and leave a legacy that my daughters can be proud to say, this is my mom and this is what she stood for. How are they ever going to do that if I'm not willing to master my craft? So that's the message tonight. As you guys are thinking about your businesses and you're thinking about your relationships and you're thinking about if you're falling short or you want to excel, you're ready to take stuff to the next level, think about, are you walking in purpose to master your craft? Are you taking it that seriously? So that's the message for tonight. As always, guys, thanks for living life on Mars, and thanks for being a part of the Ultimate Power Team. I'm glad you're here, and we'll talk tomorrow night on more Genius Potential. Have a good night, guys.